All right. Well, we are live, and I have never done this to the Google Hangouts before, so hopefully it works. Hopefully it's coming through. I'm actually going to be over here doing a little bit of monitoring on this over here. Of course, I just pushed the play on the preview, and I got like an error occurred. Please try again later. So, are we live? Are we
I think
live?
we're on. Somebody say something. It says live on my end.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. Maybe I'll just that's the preview. The system rarely ever works well on this anyway. Let me push the live button over here. Hey, it looks like we are going live. That's what I see on my preview. All right, well, greetings everybody. I have very little agenda, and I mean I was going to complain about some stuff.
We can complain today. It's like a random
yeah,
topic day. Is this the first Life in Linux one or?
No, let's not do this as the first Life in Linux. I don't want to start Life in Linux complaining. I want to
Okay.
start Life in Linux with an actual agenda talking about good things and talking about wonderful things in Linux, but I just have to complain on Linux today because
Okay.
I've been fighting with an issue, not
Okay.
on a desktop system, but on a server for
Okay. All right.
about 6-ish yesterday. I'll tell you the whole story. You want to start with some good news, and then we'll tell you some bad news.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you have anything fun to start with?
Well, interesting week. And since we're doing random topics, our government has partially shut down, and you know what? I guess I can't say I am surprised. It happened back about 5 years ago. And see, they're not using the Ubuntu Linux philosophy, humanity towards others. That's the problem.
No, it's in U.S. politics. It's all humanity towards ourselves and screw the little guys.
Right.
America is the melting pot. George Carlin talked about it. People
Right.
who bottom get burnt and the scum float at the top.
So I think we should write our congressman, have them use more Linux because it's the philosophy behind them more than the technology. See, and maybe that'll help. Probably not, but it's worth a shot.
And just speaking about politics real quick before just irritate everybody at the very beginning. I did get my White House response letter from my net neutrality letter that I sent the president. And it's thank you for taking the time to express your views regarding net neutrality. My administration is committed to a free and open internet. Before the Federal Communications Commission put in place heavy-handed style utility regulation in 2015, a light touch regulatory framework had fostered rapid internet growth, openness, and freedom for nearly 20 years. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we really need to go any further. But
Well, I mean, my philosophy is if it wasn't broken, why fix it? And it was working just fine the way it was before they got this new regulation. And of course, my bill went up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reality is we did have net neutrality, and in 2013-ish, they expired. Now, it wasn't called net neutrality; it was under a different name. But what happened Americans have very short attentions or memory span anyway. But a bunch of things that regulated net neutrality in the old version expired. And that's why we started to see crazy shenanigans. And crazy shenanigans happened. And then Wheeler wanted to do what Agent Pie's doing. But then he actually listened to the people and said, we need to put in protections here to make sure that net neutrality just kind of sticks around. So he put those in place. And then, the current administration wants to get rid of them. And the problem is it wasn't working beautifully for all that time. There were a lot of problems and a lot of challenges. That started to ramp up as soon as the original policies had expired. They were put in place by Clinton in '96.
Okay.
And so '96 to '06, about the time they were expiring, or '96, 06, 16-ish. There was some shaky ground in there in the middle. But what ended up happening is as all of the ISPs started adopting all of the internet technology, they seriously started to abuse it a lot. And that's what caused the net neutrality rules to be put in place. And so, no, it wasn't the same for 20 years. And this is, in fact, I believe, identical to the letter I received back from the Republican senator in Pennsylvania. And so I think this is literally Republican talking points. In fact, if I compared both letters, and I have them both laying around here, if I compared both letters, they'd probably be exactly the same. And that's the thing that disturbs me is that, and I voted for Trump, but he knows nothing about the internet economy, and we needed a president who knows about the internet
Yeah,
economy.
yeah, yeah.
Right. I thought.
Well, I would have preferred Sanders to get in the White House, but it didn't work out for a lot of us.
Mm.
Um, I don't know what's going to happen. I did catch an update on net neutrality. I guess 21 states or 21 senators, I'm assuming Democrats, maybe some Republicans are going to sue to fight this, to
Hmm.
overrule it.
Yep.
Good for them.
Yep.
I don't necessarily vote party lines. I vote for the people who I think do are tuned into the common good,
Hmm.
if that makes sense for all of us.
Correct.
Okay, and that's not necessarily a left wing thing or a right thing.
Hmm.
It's a human thing.
Yeah.
So I
I
don't
think
really necessarily believe. Parties. Obviously, the two party system is not working.
correct. I think we need to abolish it. Just get rid of it.
So I think Jesse Ventura said it best. If you really, really, really want change, stop voting for Republicans and Democrats. So,
I agree. I
and
agree.
I'll leave it at that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the big news of the week is the shutdown in government.
Yeah.
It's
Does
so
that shut down the post office too or not?
I believe certain services will continue. For example, TSA workers. I believe the mail continues. Military, I think they don't get paid. I could be wrong because, well, maybe not because my friend posted on Facebook. He says, just to let you guys know, Mitch McConnell, the Republican leader, voted down a bill to continue funding military paychecks during the shutdown. I'm like, he voted it down now. That must be fake news. Evidently, he did.
Hmm. Yeah, well, it's
Go
nothing's
figure that.
surprising
Yeah,
right now. I mean,
yeah.
I think they're all crazy. Well, we have a lot of folks on right now. We had a peak of 27. We have 25 on currently, and let's see. Go through the comments. Lucid Theming says first. Keegan Tessian, greetings. Ryan McCooney, hello, sir. Musical Neptune, hello there. Knowing that at some point I will go to Linux, I have stopped buying software that is no Linux version. Amen to that. No tux, no bucks. And Ben Bolius, he does confirm we are live. That is good. And we are
Very
alive.
good.
All right. I believe I'm alive. I don't think I'm undead yet. I mean, thinking about it. Is it Toby? Hello, Toby. Jason K. Greetings, and Sir. Is it Sertival? Hello there. Ariel Campos. Greetings. Lost connection. Okay. Hello, Tom. How are you? I am doing well. Naras Ali, and I'm joined with Total OS today. You can check out his channel as well. I think you actually stream more than I do, don't you?
I don't know. Do I? We'll ask the crowd. I think you and I might be even when it comes to actual.
Well, I mean, I have 3 scheduled per week. Of course, I missed yesterday's.
Okay.
It's just been a crazy couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, you had those car issues, right?
I had car issues, and then this week, co-host, my buddy was available. He's actually going to Pittsburgh right now. Actually, he's en route to Pittsburgh, and he's got some things to do down there. So we hung out yesterday instead of today. So that was good. And of course, he worked too, and it's just. And I've been trying to fight with this stupid server. I'll complain about here eventually. Keegan Tessian says most Congress people have switched to greed. Amen to that.
I saw that's one for him. Yes.
KO2610, greetings. Musical Neptunian, one consequence that I won't subscribe to U.S. websites because no net neutrality could zap out the site I paid for. Yes, that is very true. And that is a thing about all these subscription services. You buy it, and what happens if they change it or radically do something goofy with it, next week? That's kind of crazy. Spider Eye says hello, and the Lamer Linux, greetings, and the Rug Monkey is in the house. Hello. All right, Mitchell Morrison, hello. How's the weather there? It's not doing too bad. Let's see what my temp is.
Right now, it is exactly 50 degrees. Love it.
Nice. Yeah, mine's telling me between 37 and 39, which is very odd because we're kind of on the same latitude there. So.
You're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Interesting. My bit rate seemed to have dropped. We'll let it go. See what happens.
I'm looking at it. Naras Ali says hello to me. Hello. Glad to see you too.
All right. Ben Fitzpatrick, greetings, and Harold Cruz, hello there. All right. Um, so you started getting some shirts for sale. How do we support Total OS today these
All
days?
right. Well, go to teespring.com and just search Total OS Today, 3 words, Total Space OS Today. You can do that. Or check out last night's live event I did. There's a bunch of links in the show notes. There's both men and women's. I mean, you can fine tune that type of website and how you sell them, but I think there's like two for the guys, three for the guys, two for the women. I don't know. We did have a couple of women on last night, my live stream, and they liked pink, of course. So there's a couple pink on there for the gals. They're just one of them. Most of them say Total OS Today, like here, and like around the chest area. And then one of them, it's probably my favorite. It's blue, medium blue shirt. Kind of reminds me of Windows. Please don't kick me. And it says Windows broken, fixed with Linux. That's probably going to be the most popular one, but I don't know. And I priced them around $20, give or take here and there. But that's one way to support the channel. As many of you know, I don't have the Patreon anymore. I may go back. They kind of ticked me off. Tom knows about it. And then they changed their mind. They sent an apology letter to me and to a bunch of others. In fact, I'm still getting emails, even though I'm not on Patreon, and Switch is not, which is
Yeah,
kind of
I'm not
weird.
getting emails. So
I
you can find me
don't
on
get it.
Patreon. I'm on patreon.com/Tom M. You can't search for me. You can't find me on Christian stuff. You can't find me on Linux stuff. You can't find me on cooking stuff. I do all of them. You can't find me by looking up my name. And I'm getting emails from them.
Maybe they didn't want to tick off a New Yorker. I don't know what to say, but yeah, in fact, I got an email yesterday, day before, and they sent me a link which might be helpful for all of us who have considered, Patreon or something, some kind of an alternative. And we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, I guess they want me back, and I may or may not go. I'll try the T-shirt thing first. Everybody wears T-shirts. I mean, I have a collection of I have it from Sprint, Verizon, IBM ThinkPad. I have I think I have I have a Samsung. I mean, I have a collection of T-shirts, and they come in handy in the summertime, like if I go walking or jogging, sweating, washing the car, and stuff like that. So I figure T-shirts, can't go wrong. Like I said, I priced them about $20 to make it fair. Anyway, that's one way to support the channel. If you don't need a shirt, that's fine. Just go to PayPal and you can do it that way.
Yep. And you also have an Amazon influencers account, right?
Yeah, I am an influencer now. I give very specific few recommendations of products either I have physically bought with my own money or recommendations by the community, and you can do that too. Low end stuff, up to $500 Bose Wave radio because I have one. But yeah, it's like webcams, miscellaneous stuff like that. So, but that's one way also. And I actually got accepted as an influencer, and I really wasn't expecting to be. I was expecting people like maybe 100,000 subscribers or higher. But maybe because I've been doing this long and I'm certified family friendly, maybe they accepted me. So.
I don't know. I didn't have to apply. They sent me an email asking me to join it.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I got an instant Amazon
Yeah.
influencers account. So I don't know. It must be over certain views or over a certain.
It might be.
I don't know.
It might be. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's good. So those are the ways to support Total OS today. I guess mine. I have the Patreon. I have the PayPal. I have the Amazon links.
Yeah.
Which I'll get down. I'll get all that stuff down in the description below when we're done here. And
Yeah, now that Patreon went back to the way they were doing things, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But see, I kind of jumped the gun. I deleted it before they changed their mind and said, sorry, Toss. But I don't know, I didn't feel like going back. So I may in the future. But it works. I mean, Patreon's fine. I mean, how they do it now, the way they were, is perfectly fine. So
I'm still very slowly building my own platform. Because really the only thing I would lose, it's the same thing. People are like, YouTube's demonetizing you. Why don't you jump from YouTube? Because it doesn't matter if they're demonetizing. A little bit of monetization is better than no monetization at all. And if I go over to one of the other alternatives, there's effectively no monetization, but you know what else there is there's no eyeballs, and so you're shooting yourself in the foot. And so you complain about YouTube causes
Yes.
your view count to go up anyway. And so complain about YouTube on YouTube, and it causes your view count to go up, and everyone gets all mad and frustrated, and then they like you. Why not?
Well, that's a good topic. I'm looking at the chat. Rug Monkey. That makes me laugh for some Rug Monkey. Do you have a monkey? Men can wear pink. I actually have a pink polo shirt. I think it's polo that I wear in the summer. There's nothing wrong with men wearing pink. I mean, it's a men's shirt, just colored pink. But I have pink on there for the ladies because one of the girls or two of the girls says we like pink or whatever, so it's on there. It's more of a ladies' tank top. But yeah, I have pink. Yeah, well there you go. Yeah. Pink no more, salmon only from Fat Elvis. Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's salmon. It's salmon. There you go. Yeah.
But getting back to the YouTube thing briefly, I know this is like a random topic, Stay. What they have done, it's almost like an issue of friendly fire. You know, obviously they have to do something. There is a lot of non-user friendly stuff on YouTube. That's how I like to say it. And you all know what it is. YouTube was in danger of losing a potentially $1 billion worth of advertising dollars. That is a lot for any company. And you know, they've been tweaking the guidelines on how to do this, make it fair for all. And maybe right now it's not fair for all, but it's not just a matter of unfriendly people on YouTube. You have stolen content is a problem. What about clickbait? That doesn't really serve us. So they're trying to eliminate that. And I think eventually they'll get it right. And I think once the bad apples are gone, that'll raise, hopefully, the revenue pool for the rest of us to where we can go back to the revenue we were getting. That being said, a lot of successful YouTubers, I'm talking hundreds of thousands or millions of people who follow them, they never counted on AdSense, but you know, that was like an add-on revenue. They did sponsorships, brand deals, you know, T-shirts or whatever they wanted to sell, books. The AdSense was an add-on. But of course, you know, people like myself and many others don't think about it till bleep hits the fan. You know, whereas before the revenue paid the bill. And really, I was happy that the AdSense was paying my Comcast bill and some upgrades for what I needed, and I was perfectly content, you know. Of course, you know, things have changed the last couple of years, but if I would have had the mentality years ago, don't count on AdSense being here, then we would probably be singing a different tune. But there are other options where Patreon sent me a link, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. Let's be honest. But don't panic. I don't think YouTube really wants creators to go away. It doesn't make sense, in my opinion. But they're in panic mode. And we'll see what happens. I'm not praising or not praising. I'm trying to think more clearly now. Why would they do what they have to do? Well, they are finally, the bottom line is YouTube is finally enforcing their own guidelines, period.
That is what needed to be done from the beginning.
Right, yes.
And I think that's, for me, when I start seeing ads displaying on videos who say the F word every 3 or 4 words, that irritates me because it's very clear in the community guidelines. You can say it all you want, just don't try and put ads on it. And you see that, you know, you see those videos being monetized a lot in violation of those. The two things that bother me about this whole thing, number one, is why in the world are those of us that do legitimate family-friendly videos getting constantly flagged? Why?
Well, the Autobots aren't working right. That's what I call them.
I don't even necessarily buy that because I don't see everybody's. And it's weird, or maybe it is everybody's. I don't know. But why is it that every one of my videos is demonetized for the first day and a half, 2 days that it's out, which means by the time monetization returns, the views are completely gone.
If it's every single one, that is unusual.
Every one. Every
Lately,
video.
I've noticed it's not as been as bad for me lately. I don't really have not being on the inside, Tom. I really don't.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's not fair,
Yeah.
and it's really annoying. I
So as
mean,
of right now, the last two videos I have are still demonetized.
okay,
Budgie Showdown, Solus versus Manjaro, that was demonetized. That's
okay,
back. I mean, every video down for the last 2 weeks. I mean, I had a 2 week reprieve where I didn't have many of them, but
okay.
every video since then. So, and it's crazy. That's the first thing that bothers me. The second thing is that they are retroactively kicking off a lot of people without looking at their channels first. I understand that part of their policy was to kick off the bad actors, and they should. The question is there any system in place to figure out who are the bad actors and who are not the bad actors, utilizing maybe some other type of bot for some initial previews. But because the reason I say that is that seriously hurts the next generation of YouTube creators, because they worked hard to get into the system. And I get they were way too lenient allowing just anybody in. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with the policy as it is now. I think it's a good policy. The problem I'm having is that people who were monetizing videos last week are now no longer able to monetize videos. That's, I think, is the biggest problem.
I don't, much like YouTube, I don't have a perfect answer or perfect fix. Like I said, like you said, like we said it, if they had just enforced their own guidelines from the beginning, but they got away with it, and nobody complained until one day the advertiser says, "Wait a minute, we don't want I'll pick Coca-Cola." On the Logan Paul thing, or that video that says, this group of people is not as good as you. I mean, it's panic mode, and yeah, I mean, it's not entirely fair. Again, the phrase that comes to me is friendly fire, but I'm hoping in the long run things will work out. You remember some years ago, there was a group of girls called the Reply Girls, and all they did was reply to popular videos, reposts, take the metadata, repost them, get the views, make tons of money, and there was no contribution to the community. And I think that's one thing YouTube is trying to stop. Not so much views are good, but it's watch time. How long does he or she stay on? And there is no Reply Girl or any kind of shenanigans like that. So that's one thing that's good. But I'm sure there'll always be people out there some way to, buck the system, as it were. So, but bottom line is, there was one popular YouTuber. I don't know if it was from Video Creators or Daryl Lee, someone who's family friendly, married with kids. He says, "Well, you've got an option: either complain or adapt." Years ago, when I started my channel, back then there was no Toss Today, there was no Switch to Linux, there was no Desolation Linux, there were no good channels, enough good channels on Linux. So I told myself, do you want to complain or do you want to do something about it?
Yep.
So I started my own channel. More or less winged it as a hobby. If I made friends, great. If I learned from you, great. If not, that was okay. But as time went on, things started to take off about 2 years after I started in 2010. And it's been a nice, wonderful community journey. But the point I'm getting at, either I could have keep on complaining years ago and do nothing, or do something, and this is where I am now.
Yeah.
So we learn to adapt. And what YouTube is going through, it hurts. It really, really hurts. I would love to have a larger monitor and not a 19-inch monitor. But it's a matter of priorities,
Yep.
And when that base revenue isn't there that I was expecting, it's either shut the channel down or keep doing what I'm doing and just adapt, as it were. So make sure you buy hundreds of T-shirts. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there you go.
If you really want them, but yeah, it's all about learning to adapt, and we're not the first, we will not be the last, and again, there's no viable true alternatives. Somebody mentioned Twitch, and that's certainly fine as an option, But I think Amazon can pull it off. They trademarked Amazon Tube last month and OpenTube. It's
Yeah,
for a reason.
but you
So,
know the thing Amazon does not have, and the what place are going to get hurt. They do not have the advertiser network.
hmm,
This is what makes YouTube still the most viable.
yeah.
Amazon might have the money, and Amazon actually has the technology.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
have everything Google has except the ad revenue already. They do not have a good ad network. I mean, I'm sitting here right now balancing on AWS servers, and Amazon's got good servers. They
Okay.
can support this stuff.
Okay.
They can ramp up and ramp
Yeah.
down servers in such a way to
Yes.
work well, but they don't have the advertiser network yet. But
Yet.
that's easy to put in place.
Well, I'm still gonna, if I have to pick one that can, kick YouTube into kernels, I'd have to go with Amazon Tube.
I would say Amazon stands the biggest because they're not a little startup like VidMe was. They are a 90,000-pound gorilla in the room. Certainly one of the best tech companies.
They don't have to start from scratch. Right. Right.
Yep.
So they can do it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
just spin up some AWS over here, and they got videos. I mean, they have, and their network is good, and their network is fast. They got the bandwidth. They got everything we need.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so
there we go. Yeah. Yeah.
If Amazon is going to be the biggest contender, then they just have to build the ad network. But the reality is, with as many people on Amazon Prime, with all of the associates that they have and everything else, I think they could probably do it, pretty good. And being that right now we have our top two marketers in the advertising world is Google and Facebook.
Yeah.
We could probably deal with another one,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it. Let's jump back over some comments. There's a lot of folks on here. Let's see. Spider Eye's been trying to use Caden Live, so I've decided to watch this to calm myself down. Spider Eyes, I have a couple of videos on Caden Live. You can look at some of those, see if those are helpful. Fat Elvis, greetings. Anna Rita, hello there. Faith No More in the color pink. All right. Rug Monkey, really dislike shows that spend 15 minutes out of every 60 minutes telling me about some store or site or stupid product. I just feel embarrassed for them. Oh man, did we spend 15 minutes on that? That's all right. Hey, because the reality is we got to pay our bills. I mean, I could be doing this, or I could just shut the camera off and go do some web design coding in my own little closet back here and make a whole lot of money.
You know what? If it wasn't for the community, I probably would not be here.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Probably would not. Yeah, it hasn't been as fun the last couple of years, obviously, trying to adjust. It has not. It really hasn't,
Mm-hmm.
But I got friends here, so here we is.
Yeah. Farron OS, greetings, sir. And the Autobots from he's giving you praises for the Autobot reference.
Yes, that's what I call YouTube, the algorithm, the Autobots.
I don't think they're deploying Autobots, man. They're deploying Decepticons.
Autobots, Decepticons.
Yeah, the Kathy Brickman, greetings. You're not the only one, Tom. Lots of my subscribed channels are having this happen. Yep, that's it. We Negan. Anyone hate those crazy Marvel Disney toys videos doing rude stuff on YouTube? Oh, the Elsa Gate stuff. Yeah, I hate those actually. And that was a legitimate problem. But the reality is, don't say that they didn't know about it, because those were huge and they were popular and they had millions of views. YouTube knew about it. They only did something about it when somebody caused a ruckus, because that's how this world works these days.
Yeah.
Haven't personally turned on monetization yet, but I'm eligible by the looks of it. All right. Maybe Microsoft is. Here that's actually a point thing, because a lot of your guys, like you mentioned, Daryl Eves, and who's the other guy that does a lot of work with him? I forget which the other guy is, but they're like, you shouldn't turn it on too early because building community, whatever else. I disagree with that viewpoint. And the reason is particularly a lot of my viewers, like your younger viewers in particular, like my friend Co-host, for example. He is, by the way, called Co-host now. By the way, it's kind of like Linus Tech Tips cameraman. He's now called Co-host. So co-host, he likes to watch the ads in the beginning of the videos because it supports the people who put them up. And I think a lot of people are in that boat. I don't think that it hurts your channel growth to have monetization on your videos. I don't think it does at all. Now, too much monetization absolutely can. I agree. But having a pre-roll ad, and if you have like a video that's like 35, 45 minutes long doing one thing in the middle of it, I don't see a problem with that, really. But the reality is, though, is that, I mean, if you're just a hobbyist or whatever else, yeah, I get you may not need to do that. I mean, I've been clear about this and very non-deceptive that I am looking at content creation as an alternative business because I don't think what I'm going to be doing is going to be a viable long-term career. And so that means doing videos, and that means making books or writing books and doing some products and whatever else, because that's the world we're in. And I'm not apologetic to that, and I'm not going to be in your face about it either, because really what brings people there is having good content. That's the thing that helps.
Right.
And so that's kind of the thing. But I mean, I think turning on the monetization, if it's your thing. I disagree with turning off monetization is going to cause your channel to grow more. I don't think that's the case. Because frankly, this channel is monetized and grew a whole lot faster than my other channels, which are not monetized.
Yeah.
Although I do more work on this one than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kathy Brinkman says maybe Microsoft is muscling YouTube to not monetize Linux tutorials. Not unimaginable. No, it's not.
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
Hey, man, that's a good topic for a tinfoil hat time, because that's like conspiracy itself.
You can wear I'll wear my HTC hat. Yeah.
All right. Fatal Arnold, greetings. I am a good long time no see. Yes, I know it's my own fault. Been very busy. Hey, no problem, man. No problem. Yes, I do remember Fatal on my Fidel, I think it was on my older streams. Yep, greetings. The Geometry Dash World of Things. I've seen pretty much the same thing, though I've especially seen the new policies screwing really known people over the world of GD. Apparently something just...
Okay.
And YouTube needs competition. I agree. YouTube does need competition.
And maybe it's coming.
I think Amazon can do it, I think.
Yeah. Well, they trademarked the name, so Amazon Tube. Yeah.
How much do they trademark that? How many things do they trademark that they don't use? Any idea?
Well, the last thing I caught, they trademarked Amazon Tube and OpenTube. And that's the last that I read from a blog from last month. And I mean, obviously they did it for a reason. So.
Christina, or why can I not spell this? I just can't talk right. I might have you monitor the comments on. Christian Gorilla is new. Greetings and welcome. Everyone say hello. All right. I swear I always tag myself by accident at first. Okay. Keegan, hope I didn't miss too much. Been peeling taters. Awesome. No, not a whole lot. TJ Wolf says hello.
OpenTube sounds something to be. According to Farron, it's not a video stream either. Okay.
Farron OS tells me to make a merch store. Yes, that is actually, it has actually been on my list of things I've been looking into doing for quite a while now. Particularly since I have 3 channels, and the other ones will probably never get monetized. Well, I'm pretty sure my Christian channel will probably never get demonetized. I mean, I am a white, straight Christian male. I mean, that's just too offensive for them people. I don't think that channel's ever going to get monetized. My cooking channel could when I actually get back to posting stuff. But so I've been looking into different things, and I've looked at Teespring, and there's a few other ones out there I'm looking into as well. So I'll be curious to know how Teespring works out for you. And you said that the biggest thing is, it didn't cost anything up front. So you don't
it's no cost up front. You have pretty much total control. They got options between shirts, socks, pillow, men's,
Mm.
women's stuff. You can set your
Coffee
price.
mugs? Can I get coffee mugs?
They have mugs. Like I said, I think I had 2 orders last night. Thank you, whoever. So we'll see how it goes. I mean,
Hmm.
it
Yeah.
seems legit. I've seen
Hmm.
other YouTubers use it.
Yep.
I mean, look, there's more than Teespring. There's T-Chip, Cafe
Hmm.
Press, Merch, Minion. I mean, the list
Yeah.
goes on and on.
The thing is that what you need to look for is the ones that you do not have to buy a minimum order. You don't have to,
Right.
make a minimum, because that's the downside of and I made mistakes when I published my first book, because I went with a Christian self publisher and all this, and they pitched the sun, the moon, the stars, and the sky, and really, and it costs an arm and a leg. The
Yeah.
reality is, when I wrote my second book, and this is the breakdown, because I have two books, they're both self-published. One is from a big self-publishing warehouse, and the other is completely done, written, published, produced by myself, and submitted. The first book, I'll just say first book, second book. First book is the traditional self-publisher. Second book is everything myself. The first book list price that I really can't control on Amazon, for example, is, I think it's like $12.99 or $11.99 or something, and it's a good book, but that's the price. My book costs $10, and I set that price. I could have actually gone as low as $7. I want to set it at an even 10. If you go to Amazon today and you buy both of those books, Testing on Temptation is one of them, and The Art of Shallow Neighboring is the other. If you buy both of those books, you will pay about $12 for the one book. You will pay $10 for the other book. I will see 4 times higher commission on the second book. I will see $1 of commission
Right.
on the first book. I see, I think it's $3.24 or something per sale of the other book.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I want to have a bunch of books so I can give them away or whatever else. The first book cost me $8.50 to get a copy. The second book cost me $3 to get a copy.
Okay.
And so there's this huge disparity. And that's the thing, is that I want to make the right decision, that I want to get something that has the option, I can order some and sell a few inventories here, but has the option for most people can just go right to the store and buy.
Yeah.
So I don't have to deal with it. And that's, the best options. So that's the thing I'm looking for, is one that I don't have to buy the stuff here, get them local. Like, there's a guy like this shirt. People have asked about this shirt. This is a one of a kind. I have a local guy made this shirt for me. He has a big business. He does all this kind of stuff. But you have to order all your inventory, pick it up from him, and then it's on my hands to sell it. And that gets into risky business.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Teespring is based in California. They handle everything. You have to sell a minimum amount of shirts for them to ship it. It's not a lot, but anyway, that's that.
Anna Rita's talking about CJ, so I had to call the cat. Hey, no, come here. There you roar. There you go. There you go. There, Anna Rita. There's the kitty. Wave hi to peoples. Hello, peoples. And I teased you with temptation, so you better get a temptation now, huh? I'm going to give the kitty a temptation or two, because I teased him with temptations. Oh, let's give him 2. Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's it for now. You can get some more later. Are they finger looking good? Yeah, they are, huh? All right. I guess TJ will be your co-host for a bit. All right. Maybe I could sell out and spend my time making those toy reviews. There you go. There you go.
You can do kitty toy reviews.
Yeah, Serge says, look at PureTube. Stay away from YouTube. Again, though, Serge, how many views am I going to see over on PureTube? Because if I upload a video right now, I can easily get 500 to 1,000 within a day or two.
Yeah.
And if it's more about exposure than it is, I need to go where the eyeballs are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's the thing about
yeah.
makes YouTube. Now, if Amazon does something, I guarantee they're going to have eyeballs there too. So,
I think there'll be an
um,
announcement this year. Yeah,
mhm.
I think so.
Disney Frozen Spider-Man Kinder Surprise Egg. No, I'm not going to go there. But yeah, and that's one of those challenges. Labor Linux can't wait till Amazon Tube. OpenTube sounds something like Tubi and not video streaming either. You don't get ads on Amazon Tube. Wait, if you don't get ads on Amazon Tube, if you are a Prime user, I'm happy. Okay. Well, as long as it works like YouTube Red, though, because
Yeah.
I mean, we'll make income. It's significantly smaller. Let me pull up analytics here. Let me give you some ideas. But I mean, if they do it something like that, and you can get away with that. So like my top video right now in analytics today has seen a total of $7.78 from revenue, of which 64 cents came from YouTube Red. So
Ah. Yeah. Yeah.
now another one here, 207 total revenue, 78 cents coming from YouTube Red. So you get some of those. Some of them are up to about 50%, but not many. Yeah, the cat's still over here. He's just down here on the floor. Heard you studied Latin and Greek. It's been a while on Latin. Greek I've studied more recently. Do you do languages? What kind of language? You speak New Yorkan, right?
I speak New York language. See what I'm saying? Forget about it.
You speak Italian too?
I speak some Italian. Yeah. But yeah, I was born in Brooklyn. Lived there 14 years, so that's my primary language, as it were. But
And then that
it,
can be a language.
well, it's a culture. I was joking last night when I moved here in Ohio. I was 14. People would walk up to me and say, you talk funny. No, you talk funny. What are you talking about? I talk funny. It was one of those things back and forth. But I made some friends that way because I was new kid in town, so.
Yeah. Musical Neptunian says OpenTube sounds like a store for adult toys. Or Spider-Man. Rug Monkey, don't worry about MS bribing YouTube. Worry about them continually bolting bits of Linux into Windows core code like a parasitic mold taking Linux over bit by bit. Well, I don't care if they put bits of Linux code into the Windows core. I care if they put the Windows code into the Linux. Okay.
Yep.
Kinson 9T high switch Linux Mint going to stay, but I might change distro. Okay, so probably changing your desktop environment, keep Linux Mint into a different desktop environment. I don't know. Spreadshirt. All right. Is Microsoft really trying to screw over Linux? Well, Carbon, Microsoft donates a lot of money to the Linux community, and I believe they now have some people on the board at the Linux Foundation. So I don't know. Put on your hat and wonder. Some of the, let's see. Fair OS. The question is, though, what happens if some company goes big on Linux with a real competitor to Windows and Mac OS in the world? Well, that's kind of what Canonical tried to do, really, and I don't know. I think they were pretty successful. How many Linux distros are Ubuntu based?
It's a lot. I'm using Ubuntu based, and that's pretty much all I stick with. I have Ubuntu Mate, Linux Mint, Linux Mint Mate. I have FreeSpire. It's been resurrected in a virtual box. What else do I have? Yeah, they're all pretty much this. It's one of those things. My first Linux distro was Ubuntu. It wasn't Gentoo. It wasn't Mandriva. It was Debian based. Ubuntu. So you tend to stick what you're most familiar with. So,
Yeah. Okay. Dylan Fellner, greetings, sir. Welcome to the channel. He is new. All right. Example of it was UEFI secure boot and only allowing Windows through it. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. This is so annoying. So we got co-host's new computer, and it's an Acer we specifically went with a AMD processor. I think it's an A8 or something. I forget. It's a dual core, 6 gigs of DDR3 RAM. So not a bad computer, but we cannot turn off secure boot
Really?
in the BIOS. You cannot turn it off. Now, we are able to switch it to legacy mode. So that's actually what we did. So we switched it to legacy mode and are running the system on Linux Mint. We tried to do Ubuntu Studio, but it would not work. Something in the update would just kill the system. And so we switched over to Linux Mint, and that worked beautifully.
Okay.
But we had to take it, like I want to turn off secure boot, get rid of the Windows stuff. You can't. Now, I'm wondering if now that Windows isn't on the disk anymore, if we can reinstall over secure boot. I don't know. I didn't even want to risk that one. But that's getting bad. That a lot of the computers you buy now, they're making them harder and harder and harder to actually remove the operating system and put what you want on it. And so that's becoming a trend this year that we're going to start seeing a whole lot more. Is you got to be careful with which computers you buy, because if you want control over your computer, you may not have it unless you buy from like System 76.
Maybe do some research before you buy. Like I said, so far I've had good luck with Lenovo. In the past, HP, Gateway. If I had to pick the one where I think you would have the most luck with, I think it's probably Lenovo. If I had to pick one.
I could see that. I would actually go with Dell because
or Dell,
Dell is one of the computers you can actually get Linux on by factory.
Yes.
And they're very friendly. Every Dell I have, like the Dell laptop that I have that is my mobile web design PC, that thing there is so rockin' awesome. It has the coolest BIOS. I can do all sorts of fun shenanigans in that thing. And it's a Dell. I just bought it. I bought it for like $300 at Best Buy on a returned open box discontinued item sale. And it's a Core i5. I think it's a 5th generation. I think there were 6 gigs RAM in it. I upgraded it to 8. It can go up to 16. Terabyte hard drive. It's a really good computer, especially for $300. Zero problems running any Linux distro on it. My Lenovo, I would buy Lenovo because that's the computer runs behind me. That's Lenovo. And
I think they make Linux desktops, don't they? As far as I know.
I don't know, honestly. But that's the biggest problem right now, Farron, is screwing over Farron's that screwing us over with the UEFI crap and things. That's kind of annoying. Happy to pay for Linux if a company with a great distro. Yeah. Well, and that's again too what System 76 is doing with Pop! OS. Now I wish you had an option with that's not GNOME, but that's why
I know. I don't know. Well,
I won't even try.
Pop! OS seems more speedy than Ubuntu's GNOME from what I tested.
I don't even want to try it because I'm familiar with Ubuntu. I'm familiar with GNOME. Jan, I mean, is there anything else to it?
It's okay. I mean, it's if I could deal with Pop! OS. I could deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody gave me a System 76 computer with Pop! OS, as long as I could tweak it, I would be fine with the extensions. And not them breaking. As long as I could do it, I'm perfectly fine with that. And System 76, it's a U.S.-based company. They've been around a while. Good for them. In fact, I was trying to do an interview with somebody from System 76 right before the holidays. He sent me a request. I said, sure, I'll have you on the show, but we couldn't get our schedules to match it. It was the holiday, so it was kind of rough. I should send him an email. But he's from there,
We'll see if we can get him on the podcast. That'd be an awesome podcast to do.
I'll try to send him another email and see what's going on, I want to get, wouldn't mind talking to Martin Wimpress again from Ubuntu Mate. So,
I'm still working on a server. I'm eventually going to complain about what's on the desktop behind me. We'll get
Okay, okay.
but I'm fighting with it right now. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm still fighting. Um, let's do that. All right. Let's see. Who else do we have?
Looking at the chat, quite a few people are joining. Yeah, Sundays, for me have been pretty good too. Like I said, usually in the afternoon, so people overseas can join in and not being too late, right, Sneaky? For Sneaky, it's not 3 a.m. in the morning anymore. Sorry, Sneaky.
Yeah. Oh, crypto's on. Greetings, crypto. Yeah, we have 78 on right now, and that's actually our peak so far.
Nice, nice.
All right. So, crypto, how to system monitor software is best for Linux Mint. There should already be a system monitor in there.
Yeah.
If you go into
Is it under display or?
your menu, I think it's under administration. Yeah, under administration, it's called System Monitor.
Okay.
The most popular one
I'm thinking of the other monitor.
is HTOP. So HTOP, of course, is a terminal-based application. So those are good. But yeah, there should Linux Mint should have one by default, and actually every version of Linux Mint, I believe, has that inside it. So it's just open up your window, go to your administration, and you should see the System Monitor in there. It's called System Monitor.
Yep.
Okay, I'm still using custom-built PC from 2014. Works well with Linux. Good deal. Kitty time. Oh. Hey, Kitty. They're asking for you again. Yeah? Oh, you want to come back over now? Oh, come on.
Well, since we're talking about cats, I have a cat too. It's on my mouse pad.
Oh.
You see that?
Oh, wait.
Don't even think about touching my mouse. See it?
He's like, whoa, what's up with that? You want to chill up here on the desk for a little bit? All right. I think Kitty's going to come up here and chill on the desk a little bit. I have a tail. He was like a shark today. We had lunch before our co-host left after church, and so I had this little coffee table, and the cat comes over, and you didn't see the cat, but you saw the tail coming by the back end of the table. Like, okay, let's see. What else do we have?
Anna Rita, tell the missus I have. I think she was asking for pink last night, or was it Coding Commanders? Anyway, it's on my Teespring site if you want to check it out. Okay. I think someone asked for a tank top last night, so.
Richard Addison, greetings. CJ is the star of the show. I know that. I know that. Come on, how can I not know that? I mean, look at this.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Oh man, you can probably hear this thing purring if I put him up by the mic.
Meow. Meow.
Optometrists got a lot of eyeballs in their business. Ooh, Sneaky Linux sneaked in. Yeah, that is. I think you're ahead of me on the comments. I kind of keep my place though. To answer that, Hangouts chat sometimes regarding the school distro. Which school distro? I don't know what school distro is. Any idea what school distro is?
It's called School Distro? No. There is a distro that is education, but it's not Edubuntu. It's something else, but I don't think it's called that. I can't remember. So it's called School SKOOLOS. I am not familiar with that, Sneaky.
Yeah,
no.
Crypto, can you pin them to your desktop? Yes. If you go into your menu, Crypto, and you find the application and you right-click it, you'll see Add to Panel, which adds it to the bottom, and you'll see Add to Favorite, which adds it on the left side of the main Cinnamon menu. Just go in there and do that. And I think add to desktop. Of course, we'll put a desktop shortcut on your desktop. Okay. All right, we can help each other because I feel like our two heads in this will make a pretty sweet Linux system or two kinds of schools. Cancel the Google Plus link so I can follow you to make Hangouts, find you, and search. Oh, it's sneaky. Okay, he's going less sneaky. All right. Musical Neptune was born in Liverpool, so he speaks Liverpoolian.
Liverpoolian, yes.
That must be the language the Beatles spoke. Cat, what are you doing? The cat's over here just like, yeah. I'm
Cat
chilling.
wants attention.
Yeah, he is. He's going to accidentally click the button or something, and I'm going to stop the broadcast.
Yeah.
LJ, greetings. Hello. I think I missed a bunch of stuff. Getting Neptune, we are Wigwam people. Yes, C.S. Lewis reference. I think that's a C.S. Lewis reference. I mean, the only place I know Wigwam from is Silverchair. C.S. Lewis. If it's somewhere else, let me know. Ubuntu Mate, I keep going back to it. So solid. Yes, TS Texter. Rug Monkey, I have Linux for 5 of my 6 computers. And now I go over. Nice. Born in an Air Force hospital where they also do research, so it's quite possible I was hacked.
Okay.
Oh boy, yeah. Some government hospitals, yep, that's for sure. Typically stay with Debian Ubuntu distros, like Linux Mint, Ubuntu Mate, yep. Andy Williams, greetings. Says you love HP. You should have gone with HP because then I can with my HP laptop. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't buy HP products. They irritated me really bad when I was in grad school. Right, my XP computer dies. I took all the money I had because I was a starving graduate student, and I bought the cheapest computer I could possibly get, which was a Compaq.
Mm-hmm.
And this was right when Vista came out, and
Mm-hmm.
the things only shipped with like 500 megabytes of RAM. And
Yeah.
Vista ran well as long as you had 2 gigs of RAM in the computer.
Yes.
And so the thing never worked right. So I upgraded the RAM, and it still didn't work right. So I ended up sending it back to the company, and they're like, "Well, it looks like it was dropped." I'm like, "Well, I bought it from like Circuit City. Remember that store? Bought it from Circuit City. It's very possible they were throwing their inventory around." And they would not honor a warranty and help me out with a computer that they sold me without enough RAM in it to actually run well. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go into computers and recommend everybody for the rest of my life to never buy your products. And so there you go. We just told 59 people live that, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people viewing this video eventually. So, and that's the thing, it's like they don't. I agree their hardware is okay, but they will not help or support their products. And once a company won't help or support their products, I'm done. So.
Yeah, like I said, the first time I tried Vista was 512 RAM, and oh, what a nightmare. Even though it said, hey, this laptop is Vista compatible.
Yeah, and it wasn't, because Vista, if you look at the documentation, Vista required 2 gigs of RAM.
Well, I'll never forget it. Yeah. And that was the end of Vista for me. The Windows 7 came along and everything was fine. So, yeah.
Yeah. I actually had a pretty long-lasting Vista computer. It ended up, I bought it when I first started teaching. I bought it, and that was my laptop as I was a professor. And so I had that, and actually it worked well. And once I finished teaching, I gave it to my mother, and she had it until just a couple of years ago. I took it back and took the hard drive out and installed Kodi on it instead. So if Jason K does confirm, Lenovo started making Linux-friendly laptops.
Yeah, Windows 7 I think will be supported for another couple of years, and I think that's it, right?
Yeah, 2020, I think.
Yeah.
And then, of course, everyone's going to keep holding on to it until like 2030 or something. But I mean, I'm not going to Windows 10. So if my computer lives into 2020, I'll be one of them. Now, I don't travel with the computers, and it stays behind a pretty ugly firewall. So I'm generally okay, and I don't do a lot of goofy things on it. So.
Yeah.
But it'll probably be a risk all the same. But oh well.
The cat's just chilling. Say, hey, who's that
Yep.
dude?
Yep. Daniel Rosu, greetings. Is Canonical turning into a public company? I thought they were trying to. Is that correct? Anybody know for sure? Do you know for sure?
Yeah, didn't they? I thought they want to go public, or was that somebody? I can't remember. I don't know. I know since they dropped Unity, there was some talk, business decisions going to be made, but and I can't remember the blog, but yeah.
So Anna Rita doesn't like all of my mice on the desktop. So let me just grab another one.
It's quite a few.
I'll move that. I'll move that. Well, it's. I mean, I should really do an office tour because this place is really funny. I mean, they're legitimately. I mean, this is the computer I'm on. This is my Mac, which of course there's the keyboard for it. Which one's this one? Oh, yeah. This is the computer right behind me. This is my work laptop. Is over there, and of course, right behind me is the Windows mouse. So it's So yeah, I have a lot of computers over here. School OS, SKOOL is how it's pronounced. Oh boy, I lost my place again. There's just so many comments. Schooly
Oh,
Linux. Oh, there you go.
yeah.
Daniel is falling in love with Solus. I'm gonna have to build. I'm gonna be building a Solus budgie soon. Kathy says, "Hit that like button." Yeah, hit that like button. That'd be awesome. Skull Linux for Vikings. So Surge is on Wednesday. He's going to be doing a second part of the Gen 2 installation. Get a hold of Surge if you want more information on that. I'm not sure I have the patience for Gen 2. Oh, Wigwam is a tower in Liverpool. It's jokingly called Wigwam. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe that's okay. See, this is what happens when you read British authors without knowing anything about the British architecture. See, Lamer Linux says Dell is all right. Toshiba is good. I don't know. I'm like what I like about Dell's over Toshiba's is way better speakers.
Okay.
Toshiba's, and I've actually had a Toshiba model. Of course, this could go true with any system, but I've actually had a Toshiba model that they literally mounted the hard drive directly onto the main chassis of the computer, and if you just so much as slid that thing across the desk, it would shock the
Wow.
hard drive.
Yeah.
That thing in 6 months burned 2 hard drives, and that is actually why I first tried Linux. Because I wasn't about to put another hard drive in that thing. So I'm like, can I boot off an external hard drive, one that has padding? Well, you couldn't on Windows, but you could on Ubuntu. So that's what happened. Fair OS, have you been schooled? Windows Vista SB2 is not that bad. That's correct. Well, the thing is, though, is that by the time SB2 came out, computers had enough RAM to actually run Vista. And so it's hard to say, was it the actual software or was it the fact that RAM actually caught up to what you were supposed to do? Okay, Jose has a question. I have a question. Which distro do you guys always run as a main distro? Let you take that one first.
Right now, I'm using Ubuntu Mate. Like I said, I have Linux Mint in my other machine, but so far, Ubuntu Mate is stable enough, even though it's only the interim release, 9 months support, but it's good enough. So hats off to the developer. So for me right now, Ubuntu Mate, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
I run Linux Mint Cinnamon on any production computers, and then I experiment with a variety of things. Except I do have Peppermint on my Lenovo S21E
Okay.
because it's a super, it's like just a tiny, I don't know if it's a single or a dual core processor with 2 gigs of RAM all soldered in. So that's actually runs Peppermint, and that thing runs just as flawless as any other computer. That Peppermint's awesome. And then I play with distros everywhere else.
Yeah, you have a lot of choices today, not so much 10 years ago. So yeah.
Okay, Anna Rita, here's a good question. What makes Toss like Mate and Tom like cinnamon?
Well, they both work out of the box, right?
Hmm.
That's probably number one reason.
For,
I mean,
for
cinnamon's okay. The new cinnamon I have in one of my actually the cinnamon. Which one I have that? That's one of my ThinkPads. Yeah. So cinnamon's okay.
yeah, yeah, for me it's I mean both of them can be set up the same way. I like that cinnamon to me looks a little bit more polished, and I can set it up exactly the way my workflow dictates.
Okay.
Um, I run Mate on my backup computer, runs Mate, but I like it, but I don't like it as much as Cinnamon.
Okay.
Some of it is honestly, I think Nemo is a far superior file manager to most of the other ones. And I've had problems with file transfers on Mate, or at least it's just not as fluid as
Okay.
it is on Nemo. I think Nemo is the best file manager there
Okay.
is. I mean, some people really like Dolphin. I can't stand Dolphin. That's the only reason I don't use KDE for production. Dolphin sucks. I know. Big Daddy Linux just went right.
Yeah. Well,
Dolphin.
Big Daddy Linux right now is on Ubuntu Mate.
Is he really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's temporarily stopped distro hopping. Maybe he got the distro patch, to help him calm down. But yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like for me, I mean, and I run KDE on KDE is the most popular desktop environment I run on my media PCs, which I love for that application. But any file manipulations, Dolphin's clunky. The Dolphin is slow. And I forget which is it Nautilus on Mate? What's on Mate? No, it's not Nautilus.
No, it's
Starts with C, isn't it?
it is Kaha. Is it
Ka,
Kaha?
Ka,
Kaja
Ka,
Kaha. Yeah.
Kaja, whatever that is.
I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that one's okay. It's just I really like a lot of the Nemo features. Opening as root. I like. Now I don't like what they did in the latest version of Nemo though.
Okay.
Particularly with the desktop, some of the desktop icon changes. I thought that added some clunkiness, but overall, I just like Cinnamon because to me, it looks a little bit better, a little bit more modern and fluid than Mate, but the setup is exactly right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not that picky when it comes to file managers, as long as they work and I can get to where I need to go, my file. But
I am for production because when I'm in the middle of a web design project, I am moving files left, right,
okay.
and center, and I cannot have a second of lag. And that's
Okay.
what if I try and move anything on any KDE, Dolphin just lags
Okay.
before it moves.
Okay.
And then talking about other things too is the file statuses, transferring larger files. This is the thing I hate, absolutely hate about GNOME, is that you transfer large files and the file transfer indicator doesn't always show you how long it goes, but it always gives you that little pop-up right in the window itself, and it interferes with everything else
Okay.
you're doing.
Yeah.
Cinnamon and Mate, they will give you a separate pop-up notification like Windows does that tells you how fast the file transfer is, what the status is, and all those types of things. Now, on Cinnamon, though, on Nemo, the downside is when you're transferring multiple files, you actually have to go through and play to get them all transfer subsequently, versus on other distros, like other Ubuntu distros, that goes instantly. So those are some of those little things. But
Okay.
those are the things to think about depending on your application. Now,
Okay.
I'm doing web design stuff, and I'm downloading a WordPress core. I'm moving that to an FTP server. I'm grabbing other files from my file archive to move other things in another place. I got files going left, right, and center at the same time, and I cannot have that lag. So
Okay.
that's why I like Cinnamon and
Okay. Yeah, Gnome's got a long way to go to make it really something. Just everything just works out of the box. I mean, maybe with the next one coming out of Ubuntu, maybe. I don't know.
yeah. I cannot stand the manager. I think that's Nautilus, isn't it? I forget, but I can't
Um,
stand it. That file manager.
well, Ubuntu what had Nautilus before, right?
Ubuntu had Nautilus,
Yeah.
so and
Yeah.
just GNOME in general. Drop the cat uso file. No, I don't want to drop the cat. Cat is the star of the show, right? Like, how can you not love that little face? Look at that. Um, Windows 10s is going to be best ever. Oh God, what's your thoughts of Windows 10s?
I read about it. I think once. I'm like, huh? Then I read something else. I'm like, no, thank you, and that was the end for me. Yeah, you can only install certain apps, very restricted, I think, unless you bought the other license. I'm like, I don't know what they're trying to do, but yeah,
That's the concern I have. I think that because they're making it the same walled garden that the phone is, and that's a big problem. Because if I want to do anything core and custom, good luck. And they're making Windows 10 the same way.
yeah,
Like the one of the contributing reasons to getting the Nexus 5X is I can deploy my custom host file across that phone, which means I'm getting a ton less bandwidth being used. Like, I mean, what is the current estimate of how much bandwidth actually goes towards bloat advertising stuff versus the website you're actually on?
it's probably a lot.
I'd guess it's probably over 50% at this point, particularly if you're trying to look at a text website and being loaded a
Maybe,
video ad.
yeah, yeah,
Well, my Nexus phone has a massive ad blocking script in the host file. I am saving, think of how much mobile data I am saving simply by deploying that.
right,
And if
right,
I had kids and I wanted them on a smartphone, and I don't think kids should be on a smartphone, but if I wanted, you can't get on porn sites on that phone. You can't do it. I have
yeah,
blocked them all completely. So somebody can't pick up my phone, and
right,
look up bad stuff on my phone. You can't do that on most other phones. You got to have something where you can deploy a custom host file. And I can do that without having leaving the phone exposed as a root. I can do it without rooting the phone.
yeah.
And that's the thing they're killing in Windows 10s is they're killing the ability to actually manipulate the system files to do that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Richard Addison asks, who likes Deepin? I've looked at Deepin a couple times. Have you looked at Deepin?
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I mean, it looks slick, but it wasn't for me. It just
I'll have to try it again sometime.
too much flash. I don't know. I didn't care for it. Yeah.
Mr. Tracy Williamson, greetings. S is a crippled version of notorious spyware. Yeah, it's so crippled you can't block out the spyware aspect.
Sticky spyware. That's what it is.
Yep. If you ever use Windows 10, I will run to the NSA offices and shout, "Photograph me! Photograph me!" There you go. Windows 10s, short for Spyware Farsiage Edition. P.S. We need more mods.
Is anybody else here watching this using Ubuntu Mate? Just out of curiosity.
Lamer Linux. I don't care much about Cinnamon. I want to try like it, but I never can. Jason K, I have to agree with Nemo. All right.
Well, the privacy thing, I'm looking at some of the stuff in the chat. Well, look, once you get on the web, forget about privacy, pretty much, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I take a slightly different view because, you know, I have locks on my door, and even if I leave it unlocked, random people don't come wandering in. So I don't just, you know, open up all my curtains and check my mail. You know, and that's the thing. So even though you're on the internet, you can still do things.
You can reasonably, within reason, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, total privacy, no.
Right.
You're not going to.
Right.
That's probably why computing was so much better in the late 90s, early 2000s. Computers were not assumed to be always on the internet.
Right.
And I think that was a better day, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the internet was young. It wasn't as explosive in terms of information and good and evil as it is now. It was a different time. I mean, that was the time of you got mail, AOL, and you know, Prodigy and Netscape, and it was all new. It was a brave new world. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So Rug Monkey says, I like Deepin, but don't trust it. Saw a YouTube video examining their funding, and it was obscure and a little troubling. What's your thoughts on that?
On the what now?
Deepin. So of course a lot of people question Deepin because it comes out of China, I believe. Of course, it's open source, so people have audited the code. But what this guy's saying is there's a YouTube video examining the funding. So I guess we're going to be spouting our opinions here, having not seen the video you're talking about, Rug Monkey.
The main thing about Deepin was performance-wise, it wasn't as smooth. Like it didn't flow the way it should. I remember trying to download updates and software. It took forever. It wasn't clear on how to tweak that, and I think I tried Deepin twice. You know, and the China thing was probably the last thing on my mind, I'll be honest. It just didn't work for me performance-wise, period. So that was the end of Deepin for me. Mm-hmm. You know, I guess if you're going to talk about China, I guess that's a fair subject about Deepin, but that was the last thing on my mind, really. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, their fundraising, that could be a little concerning.
Yeah.
Particularly if it's hidden. And this is one of the reasons I don't use Opera, is because Opera does some goofy things since it was purchased by a Chinese company. But yeah, I think I agree with you with Deepin. I'd like to go look at it again with fresher eyes, but I mean, I wouldn't trust Deepin as a desktop environment because it's just, you know, it's an open source code. People have audited it.
Yes.
I wouldn't have an issue with that, but it is questionable about.
I think it's heavy RAM usage too, if I recall, maybe more than GNOME.
It might be. I didn't check.
Which is why I didn't like it. If there's one OS I wouldn't mind taking another look at, maybe Elementary. You know, see, that still seems to be popular. It's hard to customize. It's not for me, but for a newbie who just wants something to work out of the box and not mess with customization, maybe that's the way to go with, because it does look nice out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
So I may take a look at Elementary. I don't think there's a new version or anything, but a lot of people seem to like it, or a certain amount do. So I may take a look at it again, yeah. Richard says to me, I see the chat, resistance is not futile. We are the Borg. We are the Windows Borg. You'll be assimilated into Windows 10.
Never. I will die before I become part of that Windows 10 in Cortana's ever-present mind.
Cortana is irrelevant.
Yes, all right. So, as a Christian, you may be interested that Liverpool Wigwam is a Christian cathedral, Metropolitan Cathedral of Christ the King. Okay, that's cool.
Speaking of Cortana, they're moving. Windows is moving Cortana. Something I read in a blog somewhere. I guess Cortana is not as popular. Oh well. Maybe instead of Cortana, maybe should have had the voice of the Master Chief. Hey
Yeah,
Chief, send me to Distro Watch. Okay,
right.
I'll get you there.
That should have just been an option, you know. I mean, it should have been an option. Do you
The
want
Master Chief voice, right? Yeah,
or do you want the yeah? Because that would be the way to go.
yeah.
Be the way to go for sure.
Master Chief, can you get rid of those viruses for me? Let me get a grenade and I'll zap them, or something like that, you know. But
Okay, XB, the PC nerd, used Linux Mint Cinnamon first time in 2015. Pretty much stayed since I started using Linux. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, now, resource you need for your computer will depend on the desktop environment and the software you want to use. Poor file managers do my head in. That's what I hated about Windows 7 from onwards. Yeah, file managers are more important, but more important if you're doing a lot more file manipulation, for sure.
yeah, yeah. I could understand a file manager gives you that smooth, steady workflow. So
Oh,
sure,
oh,
yeah.
I need my tinfoil hat. Musical Neptunian says there's a conspiracy theory that if you use an Apple Mac, that stores think you have more money and charge you more for online purchases.
Hmm.
There was a CBC marketplace about the hardware, the software, etc., things about it. I'm not sure if they actually looked at the hardware you use, but that's actually curious because I actually do use the Mac for looking on Amazon at
Ah,
times. So it'd
okay.
be interesting to see if I have Linux, if I browse Amazon from Linux, am I considered a cheapskate versus a Mac? And if I look up the same stuff, will I get different prices?
Hmm. I don't have a Mac. I have an iPad Mini that I use occasionally, but that's about it. Yeah.
You read 48 Laws of Power or The Art of War. I've not read those. Maybe we should have a switch to Linux book club.
Jason says you bought a laptop on Friday. You took the hard drive with Windows on it, and I am now using Live Session Linux Mint on a 4 gig thumb drive. Okay.
Nice.
Well, there's an option too, isn't it? If you're having trouble with the UEFI, the BIOS, I guess you can still go into the BIOS and still have a boot first from the USB drive and run Linux. It won't be as smooth, but
Hmm.
give it a persistence.
Well, that's actually what I usually do. Like that's what the computer behind me does. Is
Yeah.
it will always it always grabs from the
Okay. It's an option.
yeah.
Sergey says try Tails and a VM on the Gentoo host behind. You try to give me a headache here, Sergey. Chew all this stuff with Gentoo.
Well, I wouldn't use Tails in any VM. It's not designed for that. If you're looking to get on tour with a VM, then you should run Unix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Tails is not designed to run in a VM.
Ah.
You should be running that on a separate USB live key. But Unix is designed to be run in a VM.
Okay. Richard asks about the Brave browser. I use a Brave browser. It's okay. Yeah.
You know, we should get the guy from Brave on if we can, because
Um.
I haven't trusted it.
Okay.
And I would have some questions, and I'd like to see if
Think.
I'm wrong or
I
if
don't
I'm
know.
right.
I mean, I don't use it all the time. My web browser hop instead of distro hop. It's less painful. I think Brian Lunduk had the guy from Brave on his
He
weekly.
did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Normally, I stick with either Chromium, Chrome, Firefox. They seem to run better, both Linux and Windows. But yeah, I mean, I think Brave looks clean. When you first boot it up. But I mean, is it more private, less private than anything else? I really don't. I don't know.
Mhm.
I just like the fact that it looks clean and it's fast. So
Yeah, well, it's pretty fast because it'll block all the ad scripts. I just have questions to how it does that. So, but I don't know. I like to see that. So, Rug Monkey says the kitty needs to be on the t-shirts. Can we
mm,
put the kitty on t-shirts?
that would work.
I think I should.
Kitty
I mean,
OS.
switched. How about switched to kitty? T-shirts. I mean,
Switch to kitty.
should we have switch to kitty T-shirts?
Switch to kitty.
You want to be
Kitty,
T-shirt
kitty,
famous,
kitty.
kitty? Want to be T-shirt famous, kitty? Um,
Water Fox. Somebody mentioned that. Yeah, I've tried
yeah,
Water Fox.
I run
It's
WaterFox. I'm on WaterFox right now on most of
it's
my
okay. Yeah,
systems. Oh, the kitty is moving my camera.
yeah.
Kitty, leave my camera alone. I don't
Never
take
use a
Windows.
Koja. It hijacks you. Really? Musical Neptunian. Oh,
Somebody, I mean, a couple people said that, or it's the same person saying it over and over. I'm not sure, but
I don't
somebody
use a
says
Koja,
it
but
does it.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know
I
that.
don't know. I don't know either. Yeah.
I found a virus on my grandma's computer. It said Microsoft Edge with the Internet Explorer 8 icon. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know the difference between those two icons. And I think though one of the challenges is Microsoft is so horrible at branding. They are the worst brand people ever. Like, what company has a product and a service that share the same name? They
Not
do.
very creative, is it?
Well, it's not is it just not very creative, it's downright confusing.
Yeah.
Outlook, is this the client or is this the email service?
Hmm.
And look at what happened when they did Windows 8, Windows 8.0. They had to have Internet Explorer on there because all of these government contracts rely on Internet Explorer with the ActiveX controls. You just can't get around it. But Edge was the default browser, but it wasn't called Edge yet. It was still called Internet Explorer. So they had the Internet Explorer program in the Internet Explorer app, and they only differed by their icon. That was so horribly confusing for even tech-savvy people. It's just like you pull the thing up, and you're like, where are all my controls?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're on the app. And then what happened is we
Yeah.
got sloppy with our language, and we forgot that there's kind of a difference between an app and a program. And that is an Achilles heel to me. I don't know if it's Achilles heel. It's not a weakness. It's an irritation to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So musical Neptune, you were hijacked, and it got you to Veloporn. Okay. No.
Jason K's on Linux Mint XFCE. Sweet.
Vivaldi is okay. I've tried that.
We got Manjaro Budgie.
I have Brave. What do I have? I have Brave, Chromium. Someone's calling me twice. Let me take this phone call real quick, okay?
Sure, I'll go just read some comments. Use Linux Mint Cinnamon on the other devices. Did on Windows XP. Mint Mate is the main Linux distro. All right, cool. See, if you learn i3WM, you can use as many monitors without a problem. You just have many workspaces, and each one have as many tiling windows as you wish. Cool. Jason K mainly uses Manjaro XFCED. All right. I didn't see an XFCED. Is that like XFCE? Except agree with XP was good in terms of the UI, although I did used to disable the dog in the search. Yeah, well, but Spider Eyes, did you disable Clippy? I really want to know. Did you disable Clippy? Let's see. Linux allows you to block websites without restrictions from the manufacturer. Windows XP is so great that I named my username after it. Nice. That's where it comes from. All right. Good. That's pretty cool. Tom, you only have total privacy on the shower and toilet, taking you do not have a spouse or kids. Well, I mean, except when you start getting the smart toothbrush and the smart toilet seat warmer and all the other smart paraphernalia that goes along with it. I mean, is there a smart razor? I'm sure there is a smart razor out there somewhere. So no, you don't even have privacy there anymore either.
Okay.
So we're just talking about the only place you have privacy, TOS, is in the shower and on the toilet. But I think with the proliferation of smart devices, I don't think you have privacy.
They make
there.
smart toilets, so I'm not really even sure about that.
How about the smart toothbrush? We
Yeah.
talked about that the other day.
The question is, smart for who?
Yeah. Yeah.
Smart
wow.
houses, smart devices. I mean, it's all smart.
Google's home robot want you to enjoy throwing away your privacy in the toilet and the shower. Yep. That's how far I am behind on the comments. Oh yeah, I remember you mentioning this one from Jason K a while ago. I'm way behind on the comments.
So let's see, where was I? I use Browse, Chromium, Firefox, Chrome, Opera, Pale Moon Browser, just to name a few. Vivaldi, anyway, lots of choices. I think in Windows I even have Cupzilla. I think now it's called Falcon browser, Falkon, I think.
I actually feel like the first time in like 5 years I installed a new program on my Windows computer. Firefox. Because Firefox is starting to suck. That should be the branding on Waterfox. Waterfox, because Firefox is starting to suck. Now, in reality, though, I'm actually running even an older version of Waterfox because starting with the core of 56, Firefox 56 broke a lot of the add-ons that I have to use for web design to make life easier.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of sticking with Waterfox 55, I think.
Yeah, for me, Firefox, when they went to Quantum version, seems to run a lot faster, a lot smoother. So I use it, you know.
Bathroom privacy is gone when you have a toddler. Yes. Smart things are disease of these days. Things are smart and people are crazy. Yeah.
Mel Gibson says, I'm assuming it's not the real Mel Gibson. He says, use naked browser for phone, no spying. Interesting name for a browser.
Your phone's on the counter, your camera will record.
I'll be back.
I'll be back with a 9mm Uzi and then we move 5-meter spread, no sound for the people. It's not the tumor.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the Whopper. A Burger King Whopper. Anyway.
I heard alt tech might overtake mainstream tech. Oh boy.
Where to get Quantum Firefox? Just go to the website. That's the latest version, right? Yeah. Crypto.
Yeah, actually, I mean, if you're on Linux Mint 18.3, the kitty just did something. All right. If you're on Linux Mint 18.3, you should automatically be upgraded.
Yeah, should have, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why I put Waterfox on my system, because it upgraded to Firefox 57, and I couldn't have that. Okay, Firefox add-ons maintainers have like a year to prepare for changes. Not that good add-ons, I say. Yeah, I mean, I don't use a lot, but there's two in particular that I use for web design because they make your life infinitely easier, and neither one of them is compatible past 55. And so that's why I use Waterfox 55 for any of that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I try not to put too many add-ons in the browser. It tends to slow it down. Then I wonder if I could trust them all, but I don't use too many add-ons or extensions, so yeah.
The Lamer Linux asks, where can I get a thing called a smart brain? You can't, and certainly not at a college. Oh, we've hit the bottom of the comment stream. Look at that.
Yay.
Let's see if I can get this to work. It's nearing the end, and it looks like we're still not going to work over here. Gotta complain. I gotta complain.
Yeah, we should probably wrap this up soon.
Yeah,
so
let's go.
It's been an hour and a half already. Can you imagine that?
I don't have to complain too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Any other final thoughts? Why don't we wrap this up once again? How can we help support TOS today?
Again, you can go to PayPal, go to teespring.com, just search Total OS today. There's a shirt, and I think I just added a pillow. Sleep well with Toss or something like that. I put something silly on there. Amazon, and that's probably going to be it for now. Like I said, I have Patreon, not anymore, but anyway. But yeah, either go to PayPal, teespring.com, buy a shirt or two, or Amazon. That's it.
Good. All right. Yeah, and you can find me on patreon.com/Tom M. There's Amazon links. And I also have, let's see, I do have PayPal as well. If you go to switchtolinux.com/support, you'll find all those means to support me as well. So, and I'll try and put all those links down there in the bottom here after I fight with this server a little bit more, see if I can get it working. All right. Well, I think that'll conclude what we're doing here for today. We had a peak of 68. We had a total 73 hours in view time.
Nice.
View of 17 minutes and 54 seconds.
Nice.
And 51 on currently right now. All right. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, and we will catch you guys later and keep up to date. Both of our channels will kind of
stay tuned. Yep. Absolutely.
Stay tuned. Eventually, we're going to start the real podcast.
One of these days.